Can we meet this maybe 85 instead of 75%? A little bigger. So I think a lot of us, we have a basic idea. A lot of you have been to many Gurmat camps, you go to the Gurdwara Sahib, you have Sangat. And even if you don't go to many camps or don't go to the Gurdwara Sahib often, a lot of you have a basic idea of the purpose of life. But the thing here is not necessarily to teach you something entirely new. It may be to take a moment to look inside and to kind of remember who you are, where you're at, where you're going. So Satsangaji, we're going to start a little bit differently. Instead of just telling you the meaning of life, let's talk about, in the next slide it shows what is not the meaning of life. Sorry, maybe you do have to go to 75%. Yeah, that's good. You've probably heard that Pankti, Khana, Pina, Hasana, Sona, Visar Gaya Hai, Marana. Some Gurmukhs have done a couple of meanings of this. Once again, Gurbani is an ocean. We can't put our finger on it and say that this is exactly the meaning and this is the only meaning. You can never quite understand the depth of the ocean. You can never understand the depth of Bani. So sometimes we have slightly different variations of meanings. As long as it's within Gurmat, it's okay. So Khana, Pina, we're eating, drinking, Hasana, Sona. We're laughing, we're sleeping. But some people say that what's forgotten is in Marna. We've forgotten about death. But some people say that Khana, Pina, Hasana, Sona, to forget Vaheguru is a death. Do you guys see the two meanings there? Some people say they've forgotten about death. Some people say that forgetting Vaheguru is the death. So, done arth theek hai. And we have to remember those things. And even though that doesn't mean Guru Sahib says you can't eat, drink something and laugh and sleep. No, wo bhi karne hai, but you have to do it with Simran, Naam Simran in your mentality. Just like if someone puts on a pair of blue sunglasses, they're still going to see everything, but with a tint of blue. So you can still see the world, go ahead, do your duties, do your job, but with the dhyan of Simran. You guys probably heard the examples many, many times where back in the days, let's say there's some bibi, she's going to the field and she has a pot of water or something on her head. You guys have heard of this? And then she's balancing it on her head as she's walking. And in India, right? So she's walking and she may talk to her friend that she may come across while she's walking. And she may, laugh and talk, but her dhyan doesn't leave the fact that that pot or the kada is on her head. Her dhyan is always there. So the same way we can continue doing whatever's in our life. It's okay, we can have fun, you can enjoy your life, but don't forget Vaheguru. The next slide, it just shows something happened last year. There was a riot in Canada, and some people were drunk and they were doing pratikam and they were being arrested. It just shows you, well, I think it's clear, we know not to live our life where we're simply intoxicated and we're disrespecting ourselves. We're also being caught in society and we're being punished for our actions. So it's pretty clear, you know what not to do. But once again, it's a reminder to yourself. Main kede kaam to bachna hai. So in the next slide, so Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj in Sri Vichitra Natak, they tell us that those that practiced bad deeds in this era, we talked about Kaljug, then they're like a demon. And Guru Maharaj, because whatever qualities we attain inside of ourselves, we become like that. And sometimes people have a lot of anger inside of themselves. They become like a monster. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the topic of Panch Jor, so I'm not going to get into that too much. But this Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj is very clear that those people that attain these negative qualities, what happens in their life. Hanji, next slide. So once again, what happens when you don't focus on the purpose? There's one thing to think about. So let's say a child is born. Child is born, for the first few years, the mom and dad take care of them. Then they go to maybe preschool, then they go to kindergarten. Then they go through elementary school, middle school, high school. They go to college. They get an education, they get a job. And then the parents are like, you should get married, they get older, they have kids, raise the kids. And then the kids get married. You see grandkids and you get older, you're working already all these years. It's like, what? When then eventually you get older, this is if a person lives an actual full, let's say 80, 90-year-old life. What is the outcome? What have you really gotten from it? It's just a lot of things that you're doing, but there's no fulfillment. So it's kind of like you're just walking on this cliff, and you're just taking one step closer to your death. Because Guru Sikhi also says that your life is measured by swas, not by years. The day that you're born, you're given a number of swas. Swas meaning breaths. And each and every day, the more breaths that we take, they are decreasing. We're losing. But here's the thing, and I'm going to answer one question here, because somebody asked a question. They said, what if I go to the gym and I work out and then I'm huffing and puffing? Does that mean I'm going to die sooner? It's a valid question. Would you agree? No. You have like a credit of breaths, and you can, sometimes if you're working out or something, you might take a bunch of small breaths, but in that one credit of breaths. Do you guys understand that concept? It's like the credit of breaths. And those Gurmukhs that actually have a life of Nityanem and Simran and Seva, they tend to be more saj. Saj meaning more constant and at peace, and their body actually breathes slightly slower. So they'll actually live longer. So that doesn't mean you go tomorrow right? Don't be doing that. Trust me, we've tried. Anyways, the moment that you're born, Satsangaji, your time of death is let's say your breaths are known. How much time you have. So equity I'll just tell you a quick sakhi. I'm not trying to make this boring, I'm sorry. This is not maybe as engaging as yesterday. I'm a little bit under the weather. So one time the Sangat went to Baba Buddha Ji and Bhai Gurdas Ji. And Baba Buddha Ji was very respected Gurmukh in the Panth, we all know. And Bhai Gurdas Ji was the Likhari, the scribe of when Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj was first compiled. So the Sangat went to them and they said, Bhai Sahib Ji and Baba Buddha Ji, we need your help. Can you go to Guru Arjan Dev Ji and convey our request? Because we have a little bit of a request that we want something, we need some help with something. And Guru Sahib Ji in their Bani has written many, many times that a Gursikh, a true Gursikh, is one who never forgets Vaheguru, remembering Vaheguru through all the things that they do. But is there something, the problem is that even though we're trying to do that, we're trying to do Nityanem, trying to do Seva and go to the Gurdwara Sahib, we can't remember God all the time. It's difficult. We do forget Him. And when I heard the Sakhi, I'm like, yeah, I can totally relate to that. The Sangat had that concern, and they said, we're trying, but it's not that easy. And there's probably very few people on this world that can actually remember Vaheguru through every single breath. So what about all these breaths that we're taking that we're wasting? We can't get them back, and we're really worried because we're going to die, and I wonder how much Nam Simran we have in our Nam Simran bank account. It's probably very little. Is there anything Guru Arjan Dev Ji can do to help us and guide us? So Baba Buddha Ji and Bhai Gurdas Ji were very genuine and very concerned about the Sanghat's request too. So they took that request to Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj was at the time compiling Guru Granth Sahib Ji at Gurdwara Ramsar Sahib, which is near Darbar Sahib. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji said, Baba Buddha Ji and Bhai Gurdas Ji, thank you for communicating the Gursikh's request of the Sangat. And Vaheguru Ji has granted so much kirpa that their request will be heard. We will do something, we will give the Sangat something which will bless them and really help them in this endeavor. So the Sangat is concerned that they cannot do Swas Swas Simran every breath. They can't yet. But they still want to have Guruji's Khushi. So I will create a Bani, such a Bani that if a Gursikh reads this Bani every day, what will happen is all of the breaths that they've taken that have been gone without remembering Vaheguru, we'll make them all suffer, we'll make them all count. And you guys all will know which Bani that is, right? Haji. Sri Sukhmani Sahib. So Maharaj Kirpa Karan that all of us in the Sangat we can hopefully, those of you that already do it every day, bahut Maharaj Di Kirpa hai, khushi di gall hai. But if we can get towards that, that'd be great, myself included. And also, sometimes we can't do it in one sitting, but at least we gotta get started. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj told to Sangat that if you do this Bani once per day, all of your other breaths that you've taken, they will be counted. And you will get the phal, you will get the fruit as if you've done Simran throughout the entire day, every breath. And every day is a new day, and you do it every day, it will make it count. And there's so much bakshish in Sukhmani Sahib. And Sukhmani has two arths, two meanings. One meaning is Sukh Man E. Jida man sukh vich aa gaya. Ye Bani padh ke. So Sukh Man E. E means to be in it. Or Sukh di Mani. Money is like a jewel of Sukh, and it attracts Sukh. And this is Guru Sahib is giving you a jewel that will bring Sukh to you. So this Bani will help. And I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but it's relating to this. Our life where it's ticking away. Satsang is ticking away. So the next slide, there's three questions that pretty much wanted to base this entire presentation on. Ask yourself these three questions. Remind yourself. Number one, main kithon aaya hai? Two, kis waaste aaya haan? Three, main kithe ja raha haan? Where am I going? So Satsang Ji, first of all, you've all learned many times, this body is not you. This body is a vessel. Just like you rent a car because you need to do something, you need to go somewhere, you rent a car. And the person sitting inside the car is the person, not the car. You rent a car for a purpose. It provides you a purpose, it provides a service. You rent a car, you go wherever you need to go, and then you're done. This body's a rental. Guruji gave you a body to rent. So use this body, you can do good with it, you can do bad with it. So you're using this body on rent. And Guruji eventually is going to take it back. Because we're all going to pass away one day. There's no doubt about it. But don't forget what your purpose is. So the first question, main kithon aaya haan? You are not the body, you are the soul. And where are you from? Bhagat Ravdas Ji tells us, Bahut janam vichade te madho, yo janam tumhare lekhe. Kehar Havidas asalag jiva, chir pe darshan dekhe. There was one word in there that means so much. Kehar Havidas asalag jiva, chir pe darshan dekhe. That means chir ho gaya Guru Ji de darshan nahi dekhe. What does chir mean? Someone tell me. It's been a while. That means you've seen Vaheguru once then. Do you guys get that? Which means you have seen Vaheguru once then. You've been with Vaheguru once. You know, you see your friend, बहुत चेर हो गया तैनू मिलिया नहीं. I mean, you've seen him before. So वाहिगुरु जी ने तुसी चेर हो गया दर्शन कीते उन्हां दे, which means your soul was with वाहिगुरु जी once. So वाहिगुरु जी made this game, this khed, that he sent his souls, many souls to this world, and you know, where we can attain good things, we can attain bad things, we can go in the wrong direction or the good direction. But why did Guruji create it? Guruji knows that. That's not our job to keep on pondering, why did God create this game, this earth, why am I here, why are we all being born and dying and all this. You can spend your whole life trying to figure it out, you won't know the answer. If Guruji nu pata, unna di mauj hai. So let's not drain our life focusing on that, but there's no doubt about it, you are from Vaheguru. You are a part of Vaheguru as well too. And a true Gurmukh, true Gursikh, you can actually become Vaheguruji's roop while living. That's why Guru Gobind Singh Ji says, Har jan doi ek hai, bib bichar kach nahi, jalte upaj tarang jo jal hi bikhas mahi. Just like a wave, when it comes up, it goes back into the ocean. So it looks like the wave is separate from the ocean, but then it goes back. So you are, just like you've heard the example many, many times, I'm sure you've heard about it, you're like a drop of water. And Vaheguruji is the ocean. But you're still water. You're all the same form. And our job is eventually to unite with that ocean. And when you unite with that ocean, you can't take that drop of water back out. You can't separate it. You become Vaheguruji's roop. So मैं कित्थों आया, तुसीं वाहिगुरु जी तो आया. But on a more individual level, you guys have been going through, if you look at the next picture, this chakkar 84 lakh joon. Bhai Gurdas ji says at the bottom, 84 lakh joon upai. How many times is this example given in Vani? Many, many, many times. Janam maran da chakkar. Countless times. Some people say, oh, you know what, the Hindus believe in this too, so it cannot be true. Guruji is using just a metaphor. No. Sikhi believes in the concept of reincarnation. We believe in the concept of karma. And Satsangaji, think about it. This is not 8.4 million species. No. This is 8.4 million life forms. There's a difference. Because if you look at science right now, science is not the answer to everything, but it can help us in some things. Science will tell you right now there's more than 8.4 million species in this world. Don't think that Sikhi is wrong then. It's not species, it's form, life forms. There could be even different life forms in the human race, in the human genome. What if there's a person, their entire life, all they do is drugs, and they live their life in drugs and then they die? That's like a June as well too. It's like you're just suffering your entire life. Compare that to a Gurmukh who does all their life Naam Simran. That's two different things, entirely different extremes. Maybe it's a June. I don't know the details because this is Guruji's game, Guruji's plan. But some Gurmukhs have told me, because I asked them, I'm like, how does this work with species and life forms? They said, Jiri June, it's like a life form. For example, all dogs are one life form. That's what they told me. So it's not look at every single different dog as a different life. It's considered Ek June. So think about it. I just when I made up this picture, I just kind of made a few guesses, so I could be wrong in it. Like at first I put a few baboos, as you can see them up there, some insects. Don't get scared. And then some butterflies and birds. I just thought like you make some progression or something. You make some progression, and then eventually become a banta, and then you can go through other things. But if you think about it, 8.4 million births. At least, Satsangaji, each and one of you, all of us, we've been born and died at least 8.4 million times. Tahi Maharaj kende haun aaya dur ho chal ke main tak ki to sar na jiyo. Asi bahut dur aaya. It's like you're playing a video game. It's like the only video game I ever really played is Super Mario Brothers, because I never was allowed to get video games. I'm really thankful for that because it wastes a lot of time. But like, I could never like beat the 5th level or something like that. So anyways, I used to see other people play it, and you get to, can you imagine you're playing the video game and you've been working at it, you get to the last level, and Koopa comes, that's the name, right, Koopa? He comes, and then you just turn it off. Like, why would you turn it off? Why would you turn off the game when you finally get to the last level? The same way, your soul has gone through this chakkar and this dukh and pain of all these janams and death, janam and death, again and again, again and again. Finally, you get to the last level to beat the game, and you're like, let's just chill. So you see all this chakkar, all those white dots are just examples. This isn't just a perception. Guruji knows the truth, okay? It's just an illustration. Each dot represents a janam, a life form, a june. But there's one dot in that circle that you see, it's unique. Anyone paying attention, let me know what it is.
Human.
Yeah, what's the dot? Honey? Yeah. I'm like, what's the difference? Like, human. I'm like, what's the dot? Human. Yes, it's black. The dot's black. Right? Anyways, ठीक है कोई गल नहीं. At least इतना सिंगा जवाब तो कट्टो कर देता पर मैं गल तो सिर्फ बीबियां जवाब पे ही ना. They're staring at like, ठीक है. I know I'm boring you guys right now, but it's not feeling good today, okay? I'm not boring you guys. It's okay. But just it's an opportunity for you to just think about yourself. Think about your history. Okay? Think about who you are. And only as a human being can you beat the game. So there's a juggler guy. Can you see that guy juggling right underneath the black dot? I thought that's pretty cool to put that up there, right? But you can juggle your life away. And you know what? Because everything we do from birth till death is being written down. Sada lekha kehte onu lekha. Good and bad, whatever we do is being written down. You can actually go backwards in the game. If you don't do well, and this is not a thing that God's being mean to us. It's a very fair system. You do well, you get rewarded. You do poor, you act badly, you get punished accordingly. And sometimes our past is looked at too. Let's say a person robbed a bank. He got, let's say, 1 year in prison. But let's say he robbed it again. Then they look at his past history and said, you robbed it twice. You're going to get maybe 5 years this time instead of 2. So our past history is also looked at when our lekha, our karmas are read. So Satsang, we can actually go backwards. And there's many examples in Guru Sahib's history where that happened to Guru Sikhs. Or people too, where they made mistakes, but then Guru Sahib blessed them later on. But the point here is, let's progress forward, not backwards. If I go back one slide. So, kis vaste aaye ha? We're here to meet Vaheguruji. You read in your Rahras of the Path every day. I know you've heard this bhakti many times. This body is a great gift from Vaheguruji. Hun thodi bari aiya. Thodi bari aa Vaheguruji nu milna. Now's your turn. So, there's no other thing more superior, more important in your life than coming to the Satsangat and remembering Guruji's name. And the third thing, main kithe ja reha ha. This question, I actually want you guys to take a minute and think about it right now. Please don't doze off. But the thing why I'm saying is, not just where you should be going, which direction your life should be going in, but right now, actually, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And think about that. Just take a moment to reflect on it. So if we go to a couple more slides, the one after that, yeah, perfect. Why don't you repeat after me to wake everyone up? Gur seva te bhagt kamai. 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 Tab eh manas dehi pai. 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 So Satsang ji, the English meanings are pretty straightforward there. Fulfill your life by serving Guru Sahib and building your bhakti, your worship. Kamai karni. Just like, they say, Odi kamai kinni hai, how much income does that person have? What is your income of Naam Simran? Reflect on it. Because we all know it's important to go and get a job and earn money, have an income. But even though that's important, we also know that money is not going to go with us when we die. So it's okay to earn it, but don't get stuck in it. But take a moment to think about your Naam Simran Kamai. Take a moment to think about it. And also, Sasangat ji, this kamai, there's ways to earn more. There's shortcuts that Guruji has given us to earn more. We need to utilize these technologies. There's a Gurmukh, their name is Paisa Bhai Rama Singh ji. They wrote a book, From Manmukh to Gursikh. It's a great book. If you have an opportunity, please read it. And in that book, they wrote that, let's give you an example. Imagine one Gursikh is sitting at home, and let's say she decides to do Simran for 1 hour, this Gursikh, okay? She does Simran for 1 hour. It's really good. But on another day, she goes to the Gurdwara Sahib, and in the Gurdwara Sahib, there's 100 Gursikhs sitting in Sangat doing Simran for 1 hour. So on the first day when she did Simran for 1 hour, she gets 1 hour recorded on her bank account of Naam Simran. But when she goes to the Sangat, remember we talked about the bumblebee and the honey yesterday? When she goes to the Sangat, because Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is there and the Sangat is there, the Kala, the Shakti, the power, it exponentially increases. She will be given 100 hours because each Gursikh's energy is being exchanged with them. It Maharaj di khed, Maharaj di khushi hai. That's why they said Milasad Sangat Bhai Keval Naam. They're giving you a shortcut here. Milasad Sangat Bhai Keval Naam. So, you know when, suppose I wrote a petition. You guys know what a petition is, right? I'm sure someone's ever signed a signature. I know I'm kind of boring you guys, so just bear with me just a little bit more time. What if I wrote a petition, let's say to Akal Takht Sahib, I wanted something, I had a request, and I only had one signature. Is it still a petition? Yes. But does it carry much weight? No. But it still might be heard. There's still a chance, right? Would you agree with that? But what if my petition had 100 signatures? Is that better? The same way, I'm not saying Maharaj is not going to listen to one of our ardas, they will. But if the Sangat is so many Gursikhs are asking the same thing at the same time, then Maharaj will be more khush too. Sari Sangat katti ho ke pyar naal ek gal mang rahi hai. The entire Sangat is saying in the ardas, Guru Maharaj ji si Simran kita hai, sare Gursikhan de chori vich kirpa baksho Maharaj ji. Sare nu pala baksho, sare nu Gurmukh jeevan baksho. The entire Sangat is praying for the entire Sangat. The Shakti is magnified. So Maharaj question is, look, my entire family, all my bache are all asking for the same thing. Of course I'm going to give it to them. Maharaj is going to say that. So coming to the Sangat, it's a shortcut. But that doesn't mean that you can just kind of go and just kind of lambe paye bache na Sangat ape karu sara kam ehmi karna. You'd be so, I have to say these things because people do it. No, you have to participate. You have to be there. You have to try your best. Remember we talked about a Pambar Purush yesterday? And we talked about a Jogyasu. I'm not sure how much you guys remember, but you guys only slept like 2 hours, right? So, Pambar Purush has a Kolli. If he's a Kolli, is his Kolli like this or like this? Yes. All the Kirpa doesn't get collected. And a Jogyasu collects it. So be a Jogyasu in Sangat. The next pankti, next slide. Say Bhagat, Bhagat se lage, Nanak jo prabh pani. Those are the Bhagats. They are the Bhagats that have worshipped Vaiguruji. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj can they are, and they are pleasing to Vaiguru. So we can be Bhagats. You can all be Bhagats. But you have to do what Bhagats do, you have to do Bhakti in your life. So the purpose of your life is to connect with Vaiguruji through Simran. Anywhere you go, whatever you do, you can remember Vaiguruji. The next slide. Ayo sunan padan ko bani, naam visar lag hai analalach birtha janm prani rahao. We've come to listen and read Vaiguruji's words. But let's not lose sight or forget Guruji's Naam Simran. And let's not select this life of greed and falseness, because you know what, we're going to waste our life. So this rental vehicle that you have, this body, there's a bunch of things Guruji is going to check on it when you give it back. They're going to see, you know, when you rent a car, they tell you, these are our rules, and make sure you return it back the same way I gave it to you. And it's not fair if you return it back and the tires are popped and the windows are broken and the car's been keyed. It's not fair, and you will feel bad if that happened to a rental car. So the same way, we keep this body the way Guruji designed it. Let's keep it Sabat Surat, untouched. And the way Guru Sahib Ji Maharaj designed it, keep it that way. This does not belong to you. It's a rental. You are not the body, and others that you see are not the body too. So if you hit somebody, to say, I didn't really hit you, that's not you. Don't say that. We've had kids do that, okay? I didn't do it, that's not me. No. I had to do that to wake you guys up. But just remember that. This is a rental. To see Guru Sahib Ji nu wapas dena, Maharaj Ji ne dekhana hai. The last slide. You guys heard this pankti many, many times. Man tun jot swarup hai, apna mool pehchan. Man har ji tera naal hai, gurmati rangman. Remember we talked about yesterday the light of Vaheguru is inside of you, each inside all of you. Explore it. The purpose of your life is to connect to Vaheguru Ji, not to go and waste your life in other things. Guru Sahib Ji is so liberal and so great in many ways. They say, go ahead, live in this world, live in society, live with your family. You can enjoy your life. Just don't forget Guruji's Naam. And if you're like me and you feel that's a struggle, then we can all start trying to do Sukhmani Sahib. And also get Guruji's Khushi that way too. So I didn't really go into too much depth. I'm sorry I bored you guys today. I do feel like I did, but you guys already know a lot of this stuff. And it's a moment to reflect within. And I hope some of you took an opportunity last night to either write down what you want to accomplish from this camp, or even think about what you want to accomplish from this camp. Because there's no test on this. It's all about you, how seriously you take it. So Satsang ji, inne vichar thought now Sanjay Karni-san. It was a short lecture today. If I said something wrong, I do please ask for your forgiveness. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki